Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling completely drained? As if something invisible had slowly pulled the energy out of you, leaving you anxious, confused, or emotionally exhausted. Maybe you've met someone like this before. A friend who always gossips, spreading rumors under the disguise of concern. A coworker who manipulates situations to make themselves look better, while subtly sabotaging others. A family member who plays the victim, making you feel guilty, even when you've done nothing wrong. We often think of bad people as criminals, liars, or those who openly harm others. But Buddhism teaches us something different. A bad person is not always someone who commits violent acts. More often, they are the ones who disturb peace, who spread suffering, feed off negativity, and pull others into their own emotional turmoil. But how do we recognize them? How do we protect ourselves without losing our own inner peace? Buddhism provides us with deep wisdom to answer these questions. Today, we will explore what defines a bad person in Buddhist teachings. What are the warning signs to watch out for? And most importantly, how do we protect ourselves without letting their negativity consume us? Because the truth is, bad people are not always obvious. They don't always come with a warning sign. Sometimes, they smile. Sometimes, they help. And sometimes, they appear in the form of those closest to us. But by understanding their patterns, by recognizing their behaviors, we can navigate life with wisdom, strength, and true inner peace. If you've ever encountered someone like this, someone who drained you, manipulated you, or left you questioning yourself, leave a comment below. Let's expose these toxic patterns together. What makes a person bad? Is it their actions? Their intentions? Or is it something deeper, something hidden beneath their surface? Buddhism teaches us that bad people are not inherently evil. They are trapped in suffering, consumed by negativity, and in turn, they spread that suffering to others. You may have encountered them before. A jealous colleague who constantly undermines you, not because you did anything wrong, but because they can't handle their own insecurities. A toxic parent who controls their child, not out of love, but out of fear, fear of losing them, fear of facing their own loneliness. A manipulative friend who always plays the victim, twisting situations to make you feel guilty, keeping you emotionally trapped. These people are not at peace with themselves, and because of that, they create chaos in the lives of others. Core Buddhist teachings on negative people. Buddhism provides us with 3 fundamental insights into why bad people exist and why they behave the way they do. 1. The law of karma, the energy of our actions, what we do, we become. In Buddhism, karma is not about punishment or reward, it's about cause and effect. A person who constantly deceives others accumulates negative karma, and sooner or later, that deceit returns to them. A person who spreads hate and conflict ends up surrounded by turmoil. A manipulator who thrives on lies eventually gets caught in their own web. Example, a CEO who exploits his workers, treating them as tools for profit. He may appear powerful now, but over time, he loses the trust of his employees, damages his reputation, and ultimately isolates himself. Karma ensures that our actions return to us, sometimes immediately, sometimes years later. Key takeaway: bad people may win in the short term, but their negativity will always come back to them. 2. The 3 poisons, the root of all toxicity, greed, hatred, and delusion, are the source of suffering. The Buddha taught that all toxic behaviors stem from 3 fundamental poisons: greed, the hunger for power, wealth, or control that is never satisfied; hatred, the inability to let go of anger, the need for revenge; delusion, a distorted view of reality, refusing to see the truth. Example, think of a corrupt politician who fuels division and fear just to maintain control. Their greed for power blinds them. Or a bitter ex-lover who spreads lies about their former partner because their hatred consumes them. Or a narcissist who believes they are always right, refusing to acknowledge their own mistakes. Key takeaway: bad people are not just hurting others, they are poisoning themselves. 3. Samsara, the cycle of suffering. Those who do not learn will repeat their mistakes, life after life. Buddhism teaches that life is a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and for those who do not seek wisdom, their suffering never ends. The liar continues to lie. The manipulator continues to manipulate. The toxic person continues to repeat the same patterns, never realizing they are the cause of their own misery. Example: a serial cheater who keeps destroying relationships, blaming others instead of reflecting on their own actions. A greedy businessman who dies with wealth but no love, only for his children to fight over his fortune. Key takeaway: until bad people recognize their own suffering, they will continue spreading it to others. Bad people are not always obvious. They don't always act with violence. Sometimes, they wear masks of kindness, intelligence, or success. Buddhism teaches us that the greatest defense is awareness, the ability to recognize these patterns before they consume us. But what do we do once we've identified them? Do we fight them? Do we try to change them? In the next part of this video, we will explore how Buddhism teaches us to deal with toxic people without losing our own peace. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever encountered a toxic person, someone who drained your energy, manipulated your emotions, or pulled you into negativity? How did you handle it? Leave a comment below. Let's share wisdom, so we can all navigate this world with greater strength and awareness. Recognizing a bad person is not always easy. They do not always appear cruel or aggressive. In fact, many of them wear masks of kindness, wisdom, or even generosity. But beneath the surface, their actions disturb peace, spread suffering, and create chaos, whether intentionally or not. Buddhism teaches us that bad people are not defined by labels, but by the patterns of behavior they repeat. Today, we will uncover 5 key warning signs that reveal a person's true nature, signs that can help us protect our peace, avoid unnecessary suffering, and walk our path with clarity and wisdom. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt tension in the air? As if something invisible was weighing down on everyone, making conversations feel forced, making people uneasy? You look around, and there's one person, the source of the chaos. It could be a relative who thrives on drama, stirring up family conflicts, whispering rumors, turning siblings against each other. Or a boss who encourages competition instead of teamwork, watching as colleagues tear each other apart for recognition, while they sit back and enjoy the power they hold over others. These are the disturbers, people who bring disorder wherever they go. They feed on conflict, not because they want resolution, but because they crave the energy that chaos creates. Buddhism teaches that peace is our natural state, but there are those who disrupt harmony, either out of malice or out of their own suffering. Real-life example 1, the family manipulator. Picture this: you have a relative who always knows exactly what to say to turn people against each other. They will compliment one sibling, then make a subtle dig at another. They spread half-truths and exaggerations, creating confusion, making others second-guess their relationships. And yet, when confronted, they say, "Oh, I was just saying what I heard. I didn't mean to cause trouble." But they did mean to cause trouble. Because they feel important when people are fighting over their words. How to identify them? They never bring solutions, only problems. They thrive on drama, creating chaos where none existed before. Their presence feels heavy, draining the energy of those around them. Real-life example 2, the boss who thrives on division. Now, imagine you work for a boss who never lets the workplace feel stable. One day, they tell you that you're doing a great job, that you're the best on the team. But the next day, they criticize your work, making you feel insecure. They do the same with your colleagues, constantly shifting their approval, making sure that no one ever feels safe. This keeps employees competing for their favor, ensuring that they remain in control. How to identify them? They create unnecessary competition and tension. They pit people against each other, instead of building unity. They make you doubt yourself, even when you've done nothing wrong. The Buddhist perspective. The Buddha warned us about people like this. He taught, a fool is known by their actions. They stir up suffering but blame others for it. These people bring chaos, division, and exhaustion. But why? Some do it for power, they feel important when people listen to them. Some do it because they are unhappy, they cannot find peace, so they ensure no one else can either. Some do it because they are lost in ignorance, they do not even realize the harm they cause. But here's the most important lesson, you do not have to participate in their chaos. How to protect yourself. Do not feed their drama. If someone tries to pull you into conflict, ask yourself, is this my battle, or are they making it mine? Set firm boundaries. You do not have to be cruel, but you do have to be clear. I will not participate in this conversation. Seek peace, not validation. Disturbers want a reaction. The best way to defeat them is to give them nothing. Because in the end, chaos cannot survive in the presence of true peace. Have you ever encountered a disturber? Someone who left a trail of destruction but never took responsibility? Share your experience in the comments. Let's expose these patterns, so more people can protect themselves. Not all deception is obvious. Some of the most dangerous people do not manipulate with force or threats. They do it with words, carefully chosen to control and influence those around them. They know how to appear kind, how to say the right things, how to make others feel guilty without ever raising their voice. Have you ever had a friend who always seemed supportive, but somehow, after every conversation, you feel less confident? Or a romantic partner who says they love you but makes you feel like a bad person for not always doing what they want? These are the deceivers. They do not force others to obey them. Instead, they plant doubt, twist reality, and make you question yourself. Their manipulation is not direct. It is subtle, hidden beneath words of concern, disguised as love or friendship. Buddhism teaches that speech is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Another time, they say, you are lucky. Not everyone gets opportunities like this. Again, their words seem harmless. But they make you feel guilty, as if you do not deserve your achievements. This is not a true friend. This is a deceiver. They are not openly jealous. They do not criticize you directly. Instead, they undermine your confidence through carefully chosen words. Real-life example 2, the controlling partner. Now imagine you are in a relationship. You love your partner, but every time you set a boundary, they make you feel guilty. You decide to spend time with your friends, and they say, I guess I am not that important to you. You express frustration about something they did, and they respond, I never thought you would be so selfish. Slowly, you stop saying no. You start doing what they want, not because you agree, but because you do not want to feel guilty. They never yell or demand. Instead, they use guilt as a weapon, making you feel like the problem is always you. How to identify them? Their words do not match their actions. They may say they support you, but their actions leave you feeling insecure or guilty. They always make themselves the victim. When confronted, they do not take responsibility. Instead, they twist the situation, making you feel like you were in the wrong. They use kindness as a tool for control. They do not manipulate through fear or threats, but through carefully chosen words designed to influence your emotions. The Buddhist perspective. Buddhism teaches that wise people speak with honesty, while fools use words to deceive. Deceivers are not interested in truth. They are interested in control. They do not show their true intentions. Instead, they hide behind false kindness. They do not force people to obey them. Instead, they create emotional confusion. They make you feel guilty for having boundaries. They make you believe that their needs should always come before your own. But true kindness does not create doubt. True support does not make you feel small. How to protect yourself? Trust actions, not words. If someone's words say they care, but their actions make you feel weak or uncertain, believe their actions. Recognize emotional manipulation. If someone always makes you feel guilty or confused, it is not love. It is control. Set firm boundaries. You do not have to explain or justify why you will not be manipulated. You do not owe anyone endless chances. The people who truly care about you will never make you feel like you have to prove yourself to them. Have you ever met a deceiver? Someone who manipulated with kindness, who used words as weapons. Share your experience in the comments. Let's expose these patterns together, so fewer people fall into their traps. Some people are never satisfied. No matter how much they acquire, it is never enough. More money, more power, more influence, they chase endlessly, believing that the next achievement, the next possession, will finally bring them happiness. But it never does. Buddhism teaches that true peace comes from within, yet there are those who believe that wealth, status, and external validation will fill the emptiness inside them. These are the greedy, the ones who sacrifice morality for personal gain, who see relationships as transactions, and who only give when there is something to receive in return. Their hunger for more is insatiable. And often, the richer they become, the poorer they feel. Real-life example 1, the charitable businessman. Imagine a CEO who donates millions to charity, gaining public praise for his generosity. People admire him, call him a philanthropist, believing he truly cares for those in need. But behind closed doors, this same man exploits his employees, underpays them, and forces them to work in unethical conditions. His kindness is a performance. His generosity is not about helping others, it is about creating an image. He does not give because he believes in compassion. He gives because he knows that money can buy admiration. Real-life example 2, the transactional friend. Now think of a friend who only reaches out when they need something. They call you when they need a favor, when they need money, when they need an opportunity. But when you need them, they are nowhere to be found. To them, friendships are investments. They do not care about connection or loyalty, they care about benefit. If you can no longer serve their purpose, they discard you like an expired product. How to identify them? They never give without expecting something in return. Every act of kindness is calculated. If they help, they make sure others know about it. Their happiness depends on external wealth, not inner peace. They are never content. No matter how much they have, they always want more. They treat people as opportunities, not as human beings. Relationships are tools for them, nothing more. The Buddhist perspective. The Buddha warned about greed, calling it one of the 3 poisons that destroy inner peace. He said, "The one who is never satisfied will never be truly rich." Greedy people believe that having more will make them whole. But in truth, the more they take, the emptier they become. Their obsession with gain does not bring them peace, it only deepens their suffering. But the real danger is this: greedy people are never just greedy for themselves. They pull others into their world, making them believe that success, status, and money are the only measures of worth. They make you feel like you are not enough unless you, too, are chasing the next big thing. How to protect yourself? Do not be blinded by appearances. Someone who displays wealth and generosity may not have true kindness. Look at how they treat those who have nothing to offer them. Recognize when a relationship is transactional. If someone only values you for what you can give, set clear boundaries. Remember, true wealth is not in money, but in peace. The moment you stop measuring your worth by material gain, you free yourself from their control. Because in the end, no amount of money will ever fill a soul that is empty. Have you ever encountered someone like this? A person who always wanted more, who valued possessions over people. Share your story in the comments. Let's bring awareness to this toxic mindset, so we do not fall into the same trap. Some people do not attack with words. They do not manipulate with lies. They do not steal or deceive. But after spending time with them, you feel drained. As if all the energy inside you has been quietly taken away. These people are not physically dangerous, but they feed on your emotional energy. They are the energy vampires. They always have a problem, always a crisis, always something wrong with their lives. And no matter how much you listen, how much you help, it is never enough. They are drawn to negativity, using their suffering as a way to bond with others. But they never look for solutions. They do not want help. They only want an audience. And the more you engage, the weaker you become. Real-life example 1, the coworker who complains about everything. Imagine you walk into work, ready to start your day. But before you even sit down, a coworker pulls you aside. They sigh, shake their head, and begin their usual speech: the management is terrible. The company is falling apart. Nobody respects my work. And don't even get me started on how unfair my salary is. You try to offer a solution. Maybe they could speak to HR, look for a better opportunity, or change their approach. But they ignore you. They do not want solutions. They just want to release their negativity onto someone else. And that someone is you. By the time you walk away, your energy is lower. Your enthusiasm is gone. You feel heavier, even though nothing in your life has changed, except that you listen to them. Real-life example 2. The friend who only talks about their problems. Now imagine you have a friend who always calls you when they need support. They tell you about their bad relationships, their family drama, their endless problems. You listen, you give advice, you try to help. But the moment you talk about your struggles, they disappear. They change the subject. They suddenly have no time. Because in their world, the relationship is one-sided. You are there for them, but they are never there for you. You are not their friend, you are their emotional dumping ground. How to identify them? You feel emotionally exhausted after talking to them. Their problems become your problems, even when they were never yours to begin with. They use negativity as a way to connect. They bond with others through complaints, suffering, and shared misery. They never appreciate solutions. They only want attention, not change. The Buddhist perspective. The Buddha warned about people who spread suffering, not through violence, but through constant negativity. He said, "A person who complains without seeking wisdom is like a cup with no bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it will never be full." Energy vampires take, but never give. They drain, but never refill. They do not grow, because growth would mean losing their source of attention. And the danger is this: the more you listen, the more they pull you into their world of negativity. How to protect yourself? Recognize when a conversation is one-sided. If someone only talks about their problems but never listens to yours, they do not see you as a friend, they see you as an emotional outlet. Set boundaries. You are not responsible for carrying the burdens of others, especially when they refuse to take responsibility for themselves. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. The best relationships leave you feeling energized, not exhausted. Have you ever met an energy vampire? Someone who always drained you but never gave anything back. Share your experience in the comments. Let's bring awareness to this toxic pattern so more people can protect their peace. There are people who have everything: money, success, relationships, admiration, but they are never happy. No matter what they achieve, they always want more. More recognition, more validation, more power. They believe that happiness is always one step away. If they can just win the next promotion, get the next relationship, or receive the next round of applause, then they will finally feel complete. But they never do. These are the restless souls, people who are trapped in an endless cycle of chasing, achieving, and feeling empty again. Real-life example 1, the never-satisfied executive. Imagine a man who has built a powerful career. He is wealthy, respected, and admired by many. But instead of enjoying what he has, he constantly compares himself to others. When he gets a promotion, he immediately starts thinking about the next one. When he buys a luxury car, he is already looking at a newer model. No matter what he accomplishes, it never feels like enough. His success does not bring him peace. It only feeds his hunger for more. And in the end, his entire life becomes a race with no finish line. Real-life example 2, the validation-seeking partner. Now imagine someone in a relationship who is never emotionally satisfied. Their partner tells them, "I love you," but it is not enough. They constantly seek attention from others, needing compliments, admiration, and external validation to feel secure. If they do not receive enough praise, they start to feel unloved. If they do not get constant reassurance, they begin to question everything. Their happiness does not come from within. It comes from what others think of them. And that means they are never truly happy. How to identify them? They never experience gratitude or contentment. No matter what they have, it is always not enough. Their happiness depends on external validation. They are not fulfilled by personal growth or inner peace, they need constant approval from others. They are always chasing something, success, admiration, or love, but even when they get it, they feel just as empty as before. The Buddhist perspective. Buddhism teaches that true happiness comes from within, not from achievements or external rewards. The Buddha warned about this endless chase, saying, "A person who is not content with little will not be content with much." Restless souls are not just unhappy themselves, they spread their dissatisfaction to others. They make you feel like you should be chasing more, achieving more, wanting more. They make you believe that your life is not enough. But peace is not found in the next achievement, it is found in appreciating what is already here. How to protect yourself? Do not get caught in their race. If someone is always chasing something, do not let them pull you into their endless search. Recognize the signs of external validation addiction. If someone's happiness depends on the approval of others, they will never truly be fulfilled. Practice gratitude. The greatest defense against the restless souls is learning to appreciate what you already have. Because in the end, the ones who never stop chasing are the ones who never truly live. Have you ever met someone like this? A person who could never be satisfied, no matter how much they had. Share your story in the comments. Let's talk about how to break free from this toxic mindset. Now that we know how to identify bad people, the real question is, what do we do about them? Do we fight them? Expose them? Try to change them? Buddhism teaches a different path. A path that does not waste energy in battle, does not sink into resentment, and does not give toxic people the power to control our emotions. Instead, Buddhism offers 3 powerful strategies to protect yourself. Strategies that allow you to stay strong, peaceful, and unaffected by their negativity. 1. Metta, loving kindness, disarm their power over you. One of the greatest Buddhist teachings is metta, or loving kindness. But this does not mean being weak, passive, or allowing people to take advantage of you. It means choosing peace over resentment. Because here's the truth, the more you hate someone, the more power they have over you. Have you ever spent hours, days, or even years thinking about someone who hurt you? Replaying what they did, feeling the anger build inside you? That is their victory, because even in their absence, they still control your mind. The solution? Let go of the hate. This does not mean you excuse their behavior. It means you refuse to let their negativity poison your soul. Wish them peace, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Actionable steps: when thoughts of anger arise, replace them with neutrality. Instead of, "I hate them," think, "I release them." Do not wish them suffering, wish them wisdom. If they were truly wise, they would not act as they do. Understand that forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. 2. Maintain inner peace. Do not engage in their drama. Toxic people feed on reactions. They provoke, they create chaos, and they drag others into their world of negativity. But their power only works if you engage. Imagine someone insults you, spreads lies about you, or tries to manipulate you. Your first instinct might be to defend yourself, to fight back. But the moment you do, they have already won. Because now, you are trapped in their game. Buddhism teaches us to be like a still pond. If you throw a stone into a calm pond, the water ripples. But if the water is completely still, the stone sinks without disturbing the surface. This is the power of non-reactivity. Instead of reacting emotionally, respond with calm and control. Actionable steps: when provoked, pause. Do not react immediately, give yourself time to respond with wisdom. If someone insults you, do not defend yourself. Instead, say, "I see." This takes away their power. Remember, their words say more about them than about you. The less you engage, the more they lose control. 3. Create distance, non-attachment. Not everyone can be saved. Not everyone will change. One of the hardest truths to accept is this: some people are beyond your help. Many of us make the mistake of believing that if we love someone enough, guide them enough, or show them kindness, they will change. But some people are so attached to their negativity that they will never let go of it. And the more you try to fix them, the more they drag you down with them. Buddhism teaches non-attachment, the ability to let go of things and people that do not serve your growth. Sometimes, the best way to protect yourself is to walk away. Actionable steps: accept that some people are toxic, not because of anything you did, but because of who they choose to be. Stop trying to fix them. You are not responsible for healing someone who refuses to heal themselves. If someone repeatedly harms your peace, remove them from your life, without guilt. Because the moment you let go of toxic people, you create space for those who truly value you. Final reflection: the path to true strength is not in fighting battles. It is in choosing which battles are worth your energy. Buddhism does not teach weakness. It teaches wisdom, the wisdom to know when to engage, when to walk away, and when to protect your peace above all else. So if you have ever struggled with a toxic person, ask yourself, are they worth my energy? Do I want them occupying my thoughts? Or do I want to be free? The answer is always freedom. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever struggled with a toxic person? How did you handle it? Share your experience in the comments. Let's learn from each other and build a life free from their influence. Bad people exist. They always have, and they always will. Some deceive with sweet words. Some manipulate through guilt. Some drain your energy without ever lifting a hand against you. And some will make you feel like you are not enough, pushing you into their endless chase for validation, power, or control. But here's the truth: they can only affect you if you let them. Buddhism teaches us that we cannot control who enters our lives, but we can control who stays. We cannot control what others do, but we can control how we respond. This is where your power lies. The people who drain, deceive, and disturb your peace, they only have influence over you if you give them your energy. So the real question is, who will you give your energy to? Will you spend it on those who take and take, leaving you empty? Or will you protect your peace, guard your mind, and choose relationships that nourish your soul? Final key takeaways: bad people exist, but they only control your life if you let them. The best defense is not revenge, it is protecting your energy. True happiness comes from letting go of those who bring suffering. It is not always easy to walk away. Some people will try to pull you back. Some will use guilt, manipulation, or fear to keep you in their world. But remember this: your peace is worth more than their approval. The moment you choose yourself over their toxicity is the moment you take your power back. So now, I ask you, have you ever encountered a toxic person? Someone who drained you, manipulated you, or made you question your own worth? How did you handle it? And looking back, what would you do differently? Share your experience in the comments. Let's learn from each other, so that more people can recognize these toxic patterns and break free. And if you found this video insightful, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology, philosophy, and self-mastery. The best way to fight darkness is to understand it. And the best way to protect yourself from it is to walk away from it, without looking back.